Maya, thank you for taking some time to talk to me.
Obviously, yes, of course.
So we just met at the show.
Yeah.
I know nothing
A delight.
about your background. Will you intro yourself a little bit?
Sure. Born and raised in Massachusetts, but I haven't lived there in over 20 years now. I moved to Chicago, shout out. That's also where Science on Call, the founders are based.
Chi-town.
Yep. I started in advertising and I did that in marketing for 13 years.
Okay.
And I got a job at Caviar, which brought me to restaurant tech and as part of Square. Moved over to DoorDash as part of the acquisition, and I fell in love with working with restaurants and that experience. I took some time off. I started a company, and that moment I had met Andy and his co-founders. And because of my experience at a third-party delivery company, I knew very intimately how much help and universal kind of help desk is needed. And I just kind of stayed in touch, and then the right opportunity came up for me to start to work with Science on Call. And then it's truly been a dream ever since. It's the best job I've had in my whole life, and I have been working for quite a while. They have a great culture, and I love these conferences. I'm an extrovert's extrovert, so I feel like it's a great way for me to get to know people and to learn about the new stuff that's popping up, the trends, how the industry is evolving. I feel like this is a really special conference. It's grown in the past few years. So
So you said you fell in love working with the restaurant industry, restaurant people, or what do it for me, right? Yeah. What about it was different than what you were expecting?
Yeah, I think that I'm not surprised, but I was truly hospitality kind of runs through people's veins. Yeah. I think it is just part of how people show up to work. It's how they show up and collaborate. It's how they work with their partners. There is a kindness and a generosity that I don't think exists in other industries, in the way that I don't think I'll ever not work with food and restaurants to some capacity.
So that's fair. I think, so for me, when I was coming up in restaurants a little bit, and then on the vendor side, right, on the tech side, I don't remember who was telling me, but it was the concept that when we gather, right, love comes through food.
Yeah.
Right. And we start out with that in our families. And then when you're at great establishments, you feel that as well, right? Yeah. That fellowship that comes with it. Yeah. And that kind of permeates throughout the whole industry as a baseline.
Yeah.
I love personally.
It's such a great foundation to build business from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are you hoping to get out of the show?
I feel like I've already gotten it, but a lot of it is for us, is just letting people know that we exist. And I think that what's nice is we have a lot of our customers here that almost act like they evangelize how we work with them. So it feels easy for Andy and I to show up and be ourselves and kind of honestly be here to answer questions of what we sit across the entire tech stack. So we kind of dabble in every little thing from security videos to your POS to onboarding and offboarding employees. We run the full gamut. So just being here is enough for us to kind of just do what we want to do. And also, going to some of the sessions, I feel like there's a lot of AI conversation. And so seeing how people are applying it across different elements is really my own personal curiosity is peaks at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, trailblazing for sure.
Yeah.
Where do you think it's going?
The industry
on the technology side, because you do dabble in all of it.
I do. Yeah. I would say a big trend is simplifying people's tech stacks, kind of streamlining operations to gain efficiencies, as well as, I would say, humble brag, but offloading things from internal teams that can be offloaded and automated. And so we're seeing a lot of vendors with those capabilities kind of take the mental and actual load of teams in restaurants off of their plates to be able to focus on food and hospitality.
Yeah, love on the customers.
Yeah, so I think that's been, I see that trend, and then we're just going to see more and more, I think, consolidating people's tech stacks. I think there's some messiness, so we need to clean it up a bit.
Oh yeah, no, it's this industry. We the trailblazers, right? They implement something, they figure out all the ways not to do it, and then everyone else can follow, right?
Yeah, and I would say that it's so easy to pilot these days, especially new technology. Most restaurant groups I speak to have identified a handful of their pilot restaurants that they always test new capabilities. And I feel that even over the past few years feels newer than like a decade ago. And so I think you'll start to see people testing and learning and being less afraid to kind of adopt new tech that works for their business.
Yeah. Well, and it's also nice in this vertical because the lines between vendor and customer get more and more blurred, right?
Yeah.
There's so many restaurant owners and CIOs that also are on the vendor side. And so, yeah, it's always easy to find someone who's willing to do a pilot, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, if you were a restaurant at FSTEC, what would Maia want that person to go through? Like, get out of the show.
I would want them to really lean into their intellectual curiosity. I think that there's a lot of really, really smart people here. And so I would be picking as many brains as possible. I think that, they could probably charge more for these tickets. I know that they're expensive, but like to be able to have the access to people at a conference like this is super, super valuable. So being able to kind of say like, hey, what are you seeing? What's intriguing you? What hasn't worked for you in the past few years?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that people can learn from one another of like missteps, but also things that are really like accelerating and growing their business. I know that it's like, there's a lot of like competition out there for restaurants, but truly like there's so much to be learned from one another that I think that that's like what I would, if I were a restaurant operator, I would be going up to a lot of the people that are here and asking them tough questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw something, one of the kind of like mottos that Informa was pushing forward was better together. And I'm starting to see a few of the brands start to latch onto that. Like, we can share ideas. We can collaborate more.
Because there's like fundamentally your brand is your brand. And it's, even if some menu items are similar, your approach, it can be completely different. Yeah, the industry can all evolve and be better.
What's your primary takeaway from the show? Like if the show has a theme, what is that for you?
The show has a theme. I think to me, AI seems to be in every conversation. Yeah, I think AI, and I think people are, more open to collaboration amongst brands and as well as with vendors. So I feel like AI and collaboration feels like a big theme right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. I heard someone say, innovate or die.
Sure. You don't have to be so extreme.
Yeah. Mad Max FSTEC. It's fine.
Yeah. Like collaborate. Like collaborate, like love and learn.
Yeah, it's great.
It's more my vibe, but yeah, sure. Innovator, dumb. I guess in that same like framework, like don't be afraid to try new things.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
And if your brand is really going to fail because of one pilot, like you're a Rocky Foundation.
That's right. I like that. Yeah.
Like it's okay.
Just try it out.
Just try it out. Throw the spaghetti at the wall. Sometimes a cool thing sticks and it can change the game for you.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I don't know. Have fun. We're in a really fun industry. Continue to be kind to one another. And I think that that's something like we're a help desk. So like we are always like kind of giving our knowledge and of ourselves. And I feel like it just comes back to us in spades in this industry specifically because it's a hospitality industry. And that to me is more of the foundation of our industry is when you give a little bit, you get a lot back. And so I think my last thought is probably like just lean into that because it's a good vibe.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.